right? We can't just be like, oh my God, these poor pigs, these poor cows, these poor chickens. Nobody should eat them because, yeah, a lot of other animals will eat them. Janice, we can, but we're not. We're not focused on readings.
Bird. Yeah, I think if we grew up as vegetarians, it would probably be different because we technically are not meat eaters in general, but nobody, like, everybody's been raised on meat for the most part. I do applaud people though that can um, discipline themselves like that or have changed their ways of eating meat, going natural or anything like that. I do applaud people who have done that. I unfortunately my eating habits are so horrible. I wouldn't even know where to start.
Right. I don't think I've tried, to kick meat in that way, just like anything, just like any diet, right? Where you're like, oh, I'm gonna remove this, I'm gonna remove that, I'm gonna, because
Mhm.
this, that, the third. But for me, it's just like I don't. There's days where I don't eat meat because I'll eat other things that just satisfy me, right? But then there's days where I have that urge for some wings. I have that urge for whatever it is. Maybe I want a steak. Um, I don't feel like I overly consume meat or underly consume meat. What I've looked at is just watching what I eat is I don't get enough protein, but and people will argue you could get protein in plants. I'm going to tell you, I'm not the person who likes vegetables like that. I don't. I don't like vegetables like that where I'm just going to eat a whole fucking plate of vegetables and be like, "Oh my god, I'm so full." I am someone who loves carbs. I have always loved carbs, even when I was little, and I was never a fat kid. I was never a big child, okay? But I always loved rice. Like we were raised on rice. Black beans and rice was like the plate because one we were poor and it was very cheap, okay? But I loved rice. I love rice, and I love macaroni. There's these things that are high in carbs. Pasta, man, I don't eat a lot of pasta, but potatoes, cat, potatoes, you can't tell me to stop eating potatoes. I don't give a shit about a diet. I'm gonna eat my potatoes. Like homemade mashed potatoes, get out of here.
I love
So,
potato.
my daughter's a vegetarian. She switched. And recently she switched to non-dairy. Before she was still eating dairy, but now she switched. Which for her, she's able to do it. Me, I can't. I need my eggs. I love my sunny side up eggs from time to time, and I love my sunny side up eggs on white rice. Like there's just things that I'm not ready to let go. And some people will argue like, oh, but your health and this, and I'm like, I'm fairly healthy at 40. I don't think if I continue to eat my rice and eggs, then it's gonna really fuck me up that much, that much more if I stop.
I think I would have a bigger problem trying to get in every nutrient that your body needs through plants because I'm not educated.
It's hard
That's a
because
lot of education.
I've been trying to work through it these past like 2 months, and it's been hard because it's like, well, what the fuck do I eat? If you have to make sure you're under a certain amount of carbs. Well, everything has carbs. Shit, the honey that I put in my fucking cup, some of these for a tablespoon will have 20 fucking grams. So
Yeah,
if in a day I'm only supposed to have 130 grams, well, shit, my one cup of coffee just had that. And then some people will be like, why put that in there? Who the fuck wants to drink coffee with nothing in there? I don't want to put the sugar because, of course, the sugar is horrible. If I choose sugar, we already know where that's going, right? So it's like I'm trying to choose something that's a little bit more better because honey is a natural product, but it's like you can't win. There's always something that has these like If you look at strawberries, yes, strawberries are fruit, but it's high in sugar. Doesn't matter
Mhm.
if it's sugar from fruit, it's still fucking sugar. So when you're looking at this, people are telling you, yeah, eat more fruits and vegetables. But when you start putting that on your plate, if you get a smoothie of fruits, that shit is like 300, 400 fucking calories just with the smoothie. And let's say you're on you only can eat so many calories a day. You're like, well, what the fuck am I going to eat? You know what I mean? This smoothie of these fruits and vegetables now just cost me 500 fucking calories, carbs and all. So what do I eat, right? And the only reason why is because I've been working with the trainer and I've been using the MyFitnessPal app. So anybody could upload this app. It's a free app, and you just input your food. It breaks it down. It shows you the sodium, the sugar, the carbs, the everything that's in it, right? You'll be surprised at some of the stuff we eat, you know.
Mhm.
So, yes, there are healthier options. Like, of course, I do like blueberries and blackberries and raspberries, but strawberries, yes. Banana also. You like they'll tell you a banana a day, right? But for someone who's trying to kick sugar, banana are high in sugar. One of the things when I was a medical assistant, I would have lots of diabetic patients that their sugars would be all off. And when we would sit down, because I would have to do education with them, when we would sit down and look at what they ate, they would be like, well, I had a banana. And it was just like, that's the problem. Cut it in half. And then they would cut it in half, and then their sugars would get better. So some of the things were like, well, it's a fruit. Why is this bad? Well, it's still sugar. Some of these fruits still have high carbs. So no matter what, you still have to look at that. So unfortunately for me, I'm like, well, not unfortunate. I'm just like, fuck all that counting shit. I just want to do better, eat a little bit better, you
Mhm.
know, put my smoothies or a salad in my diet, in my meals. But it's crazy when you're trying to kind of like count, and then it's just like, okay, well, what the hell? I was like struggling. What the hell do I even eat? And then I'm hungry because you're getting active. And now I'm starving. And now I just want to fuck up some shit.
Yeah, I think there's a difference though between dieting and learning how to eat healthy. I want to learn how to eat healthy. I know a diet will never work for me. It
Right.
won't. Even when people say, "Well, I'm on a diet," and you can still enjoy certain things, but if I'm being limited to having to pay attention to how big my piece is or when
Right.
I can and can't like have that pumpkin pie or that coffee or that lemonade or anything, just certain things like
Right.
it'll never work. It'll never work for me because I'm
It's
one of those
hard.
people who's like, okay, I'll start tomorrow then, or I'll start. So I'd rather just learn how to eat healthy and replace certain things that
Right.
I'm eating with
Right.
things that are better than just to be able to say, okay, I can only have 1,500 calories today. I got to figure it out. I got to make it work.
Right.
And
It is
then
a
the fucking neighbor comes over with a fucking pumpkin pie, and then all I can do is stare at it. It's not going to fucking work. Like, no.
well, it also comes into the depriving ourselves from things, right? And when you get into that place of I can't have this because then you go into guilt when you do eat it. Oh my god, I ate this muffin, now I'm fucking guilty. And one of the things I will tell you guys is when I had unhealthy, and when I say unhealthy eating habits, meaning I would eat things, right? And then I would immediately feel guilty for eating it. And I would
Hmm.
literally like eat something the next day I would be like 5 more pounds higher, and it would be how the fuck am I gaining 5 pounds from a meal? And it would start to stress me the fuck out. But what I notice is now I don't have that guilt with food. So if I decide to go and eat something that's a little bit more fatty, I don't have the guilt and shame about it. Like, oh my God, I ate this. And so now my weight, you guys, my weight is staying. It's not coming back. So that means I've worked through my emotional bullshit that was connected to the guilt and shame on eating this, that, and their third. Because I love Chinese food. Okay. I'm not gonna stop eating Chinese food. It's very high in fucking sodium, one.
I
And
like
we all
sodium.
know it's not healthy because we don't eat real Chinese food. We eat Americanized Chinese food. We don't eat real Chinese food, right?
I like sodium.
Oh, that was the other one, Crystal, the fucking grapes. Because I went through a
Mm-hmm.
nutrition program. I went through a nutrition program, and it was the doctor I had. She specialized in the endocrine system, right? And so the endocrine system is that metabolism and all of that, right? Thyroid, all of that. So one of the things is my favorite fucking fruits at the time were grapes and fucking strawberries, okay, and apples, right? And then she would say that like grapes are high in sugar, and I'm like, so you mean to tell me I could only have like two grapes? Who the fuck eats two grapes? Like who sits down like I'm just gonna eat two grapes right now? Dude, what? Like wait, what?
There's a workout plan that I had started a while ago. I never finished it,
Thanks,
but
Mandy.
they sent you a meal plan, and one of the things was is during that workout, your first, I want to say 4 to 6 weeks, you weren't supposed to have any fruit at all. And I
Right,
didn't understand that until I realized it was the sugars that they were talking about. But you were not
right,
supposed to have fruit at all those first few weeks.
right,
I never realized how much sugar because I like fruit. I'm a fruit.
right. I like I said, I love my fruit, but to sit and only have like two strawberries, two
Wouldn't work.
grapes, that's not satisfying one.
Mm-mm.
Okay. And
Little
then the
kids
rest is
know.
so again, what do you eat? So now I'm stuck like, okay, so you just want me to eat fucking romaine lettuce and fucking, you know what I mean? Like who does that?
Yep.
Who does that? So I get the changes, right? Because I used to be a very big soda person, right? Dr. Pepper was my fix. Dr. Pepper, Dr. Pepper. I would have a couple Dr. Peppers in a day, right? I do notice the difference. I've kicked that. Now, eventually, not eventually, but there are times when I'm out and about that I will get soda. Not all the time, because sometimes I will choose to get water in my cup and not soda. But there are times while I will get soda. I just don't do it like how I used to drink it a few times in a day, having that Dr. Pepper fix, because it is high in artificial, what we call artificial sugar, right? If we're looking at the sugars, if we're looking at the content of the what we're putting in our body, of course, fruits, if you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
pick a fruit over, something that's artificial, right? So that's the other decision. When you're making healthier choices, it's just picking healthier options that are natural resources, what we would say, right? Natural sugars over the artificial ones. So, you don't have to deprive yourself, because I love yogurt, but then I got into like all the yogurts that I would pick are fucking ridiculous. The calories were ridiculous, the contents were ridiculous. And I'm like, what am I supposed to eat? Well, non fat plain yogurt. Who the fuck eats that? Now, I will tell you guys that I'm getting used to it, okay? Now that I've put it in my diet, right? But it is very hard to get used to not like plain Greek yogurt with no things. And then everybody's like, "Oh, just put toppings on it." Let me tell you guys, it's a crock of shit. All the toppings that you put onto that yogurt then now give you a couple hundred calories and carbs,
Yep.
because you're not going to put two blueberries on there. You're not going to put two strawberries on there, right? You're going to fucking put multiple items on there. Even the nuts and the oats and all of that shit, all of it adds up, right? So sometimes it's like you're lost. You're lost in what can I do? What can I eat, I have not heard about candy floss flavored grapes. I've never heard about that.
Cotton candy grapes or candy floss grapes.
Yeah, I have not heard
No,
about
but I
that.
can imagine. They just like they make my mouth like when you get too much sugar and you're like, oh shit. That's it. I feel it.